So you're trying to lose weight and you think Diet Coke is better for you. Well, listen to how just one can affect your body. Now, this was a UK pharmacist. He shocked fans by releasing this step-by-step guide showing how a sip of Diet Coke affects you from just 10 minutes to an hour later. So in the first 10 minutes, it tricks your taste buds and attacks your teeth. The phosphoric acid eats away at the enamel on your teeth, while the artificial sweeteners like aspartame hit your system. Your body is preparing for this sugar overload, and so it causes your pancreas to release insulin. The insulin surge decreases the pancreas's sensitivity to insulin, so it puts you at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Perfect, great for losing weight. Now, the insulin triggers your body to store fat around the middle, and it increases your risk of developing heart disease. And since there is no sugar in Diet Coke, but now you have a lot of insulin running through your bloodstream, you basically tricked your body into thinking it's about to get some sugar. It starts pulling all of the available blood sugar that you have into your cells. So then it leaves you with a massive sugar low, which of course, you're now needing sugar in your blood. So you start craving another Diet Coke and you go for something else like that because the combination of caffeine and aspartame creates a short addictive high, similar in the way cocaine works. And basically it's never going to quench your thirst because it dehydrates rather than hydrates your body. So a lack of vital water can lead to brain fog, poor concentration, fatigue, and feeling irritable. So great. But obviously Coca-Cola is such a powerful corporation that they can literally sell you something that is making you sick, killing you, making you fat, giving you type 2 diabetes, and it's not going to get yanked off the shelf. And in fact, they'll tell you, go ahead and stick one in for your kids. But here's some other shocking news that I read today about another massive corporation. This is the famous Kellogg's brand. Now, I learned today that corn flakes were invented in the 19th century by John Harvey Kellogg while he was working as a physician in order to prevent people from pleasuring themselves. So he was working as a physician at Battle Creek Sanitarium in Michigan, and he developed these range of breakfasts that he thought would help stop people from masturbating. So Mr. Kellogg, he was very uncomfortable about sex. He believed it was unhealthy for the body, mind, and soul. He was celibate. He never consummated his marriage, and he kept a separate bedroom from his wife. He also chose adoption rather than impregnating his partner. But he was, while he was anti-sex, he considered masturbation even worse. And in his book, Plain Facts for Old and Young, Embracing the Natural History and Hygiene of Organic Life, he described 39 different symptoms which he said were caused by masturbation, including epilepsy, acne, bad posture, stiff joints, infirmity, poor development, fickleness, and palpitations. And you'll have to look at the article to see some of the really sick things that he did to these poor people because he had a problem with the natural part of life. But this is a doctor, okay? And now he's running this huge corporation which is in control, well, not anymore, I mean, he's dead now, but he's like running this huge corporation that's in control of your food. But nothing to worry about there, Kellogg, because according to experts, by 2070, sex with robots is going to be the new norm. They say people are just going to fall in love with their virtual partners, and in fact, physical relationships will seem primitive. This is according to Dr. Driscoll. She said, "We tend to think about issues such as virtual reality and robotic sex within the context of current norms. But if we think back to the social norms about sex that existed just 100 years ago, it's obvious that they have changed rapidly and radically." Well, I'll say we've gone from cornflakes to cyborgs. So when you read about things like this, it's not difficult to answer that question. Why would they be poisoning the food? Why would they be poisoning the water? These are the type of people who are in control of those corporations that put all of these systems in place so long ago. Coca-Cola and Kellogg's are just 2 of the 10 corporations that control almost everything you buy. So if you just take a look around that, those corporations, they're making us sick for profit. And of course, the old eugenics is always popping up as well. These are the people that are running our country and pushing for that total post-humanism.
With many people fearing the disastrous results of MD-directed therapeutics, they had opted in favor of the more natural and results-driven homeopathic approach. In their bid for power, the allopaths came together and created the American Medical Association. It wasn't until the early 1900s, however, that the AMA got any traction. With the advent of new medical treatments, they received financial and political backing by powerful financiers who saw the profit potential in surgery, radiation, and synthetic drugs. In 1907, the AMA confided in the Carnegie Foundation to finance an in-depth study of medical education in America. Abraham Flexner, an educator in the employ of John D. Rockefeller, was hired to survey the country and compile data on every medical school. After 5 years of touring the nation, Flexner returned with his data in what is now known as the Flexner Report. What followed was the complete reformation in medical education. Many medical schools were forced to shut down, specifically all those that taught homeopathic medicine, as the practice was deemed scientifically invalid by Flexner. Schools that adhered to Flexner's standards and advocated synthetic drug treatments received millions of dollars in donations from the Carnegie and Rockefeller foundations.
And if you think that that is unbelievable, InfoWars has traveled to Valencia, Spain, to the City of Arts and Sciences. It's an architecturally extravagant museum, and there they discovered this agenda that's conditioning the public that eugenics and race cleansing is going to help the population. Here is just a little bit of that video.
This is one of the main tourist attractions in Spain, and on their website it says, "Science, Nature, and Art in a complex devoted to scientific and cultural dissemination in Europe, placed in Valencia." Inside the Museum of Prince Philip, I found many exhibits and promotions dedicated to the European Agency of Space, which is Europe's version of NASA. There's also a very large pendulum and a giant DNA helix. The second floor is devoted to the scientists who helped make a lot of our scientific discoveries in the 20th century. One of which is a placard dedicated to Bertrand Russell, a known eugenicist. His placard reads, "3 simple but irresistible passions have governed my life: a longing for love, the searching for knowledge, and the unbearable pity for the suffering of humanity." That's right, Bertrand Russell cares so much about humanity, he also said this. Here is a clip from Endgame.
Gradually, by selective breeding, the congenital differences between rulers and ruled will increase until they become almost different species. A revolt of the plebs would become as unthinkable as an organized insurrection of sheep against the practice of eating mutton. Bertrand Russell.
H.G. Wells, Aldous Huxley, Bertrand Russell, and hundreds of other eugenicists constantly bragged about how the establishment believed themselves to be a separate, more advanced species than the common man. Top eugenicists were bold enough to admit that their real goal was not improving the heredity of the commoner, but to further dumb them down so that they could be more manageable. Nobel Prize winner Russell wrote at length about how vaccinations filled with mercury and other brain-damaging compounds would induce partial chemical lobotomies and develop a servile zombie population.
Diet, injections, and injunctions will combine from a very early age to produce the sort of character and the sort of beliefs that the authorities consider desirable, and any serious criticism of the powers that be will become psychologically impossible. Bertrand Russell.
And when I got to the 3rd floor of the museum, I found its true dirty secret. It is set up to condition the public that genes and chromosomes are meant to be manipulated by scientists. Here you can see these large gene sequences depicted as a chromosome forest. These exhibits are meant to condition the public that science and scientists always have the public's best interest in heart. But if you look at the writings of Bertrand Russell, you will see it's completely opposite to freedom and liberty. So here in Valencia, people are being educated and conditioned that eugenicists have their best interest at heart. But slowly, the veneer of the elites is being lifted. Most people know that Planned Parenthood was founded by racist eugenicist Margaret Sanger.
And you can watch that video in its entirety at the Alex Jones YouTube channel. That's it for the show tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you here again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central.
Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
We kept changing this formula over and over and over again until it became sort of a grand puzzle. For example, the L-theanine inside of it, that is activated by the different compounds in the yerba mate that we put inside of it as well. This just increases the compounds you already have.
This is what you're actually designed to run on.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a car will run on one form of junkie gas, but it runs really good on what it's designed for.
And that's the principle of InfoWars Life, as far as I understand, that you've always had, is that it's not about synthetic chemicals and forcing actions. It's about letting your body do its own thing and giving your body the tools it needs to create these different compounds that are super valuable and super beneficial.
You will find Brain Force and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
You are watching the InfoWars Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at InfoWarsNews.com. And your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.
So you're trying to lose weight and you think Diet Coke is better for you. Well, listen to how just one can affect your body. Now, this was a UK pharmacist. He shocked fans by releasing this step-by-step guide showing how a sip of Diet Coke affects you from just 10 minutes to an hour later. So in the first 10 minutes, it tricks your taste buds and attacks your teeth. The phosphoric acid eats away at the enamel on your teeth, while the artificial sweeteners like aspartame hit your system. Your body is preparing into your cells. So then it leaves you with a massive sugar low, which of course, you're now needing sugar in your blood. So you start craving another Diet Coke and you go for something else like that because the combination of caffeine and aspartame creates a short addictive high, similar for the sugar overload, and so it causes your pancreas to release insulin. The insulin surge decreases the pancreas's sensitivity to insulin, so it puts you at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Perfect, great for losing weight. Now, the insulin triggers your body to store fat around the middle, and it increases your risk of developing heart disease. And since there is no sugar in Diet Coke, but now you have a lot of insulin running through your bloodstream, you basically tricked your body into thinking it's about to get some sugar. It starts pulling all of the available blood sugar that you have